What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, your first line of defense against stupid movies. My name is DJ, and as always, I am joined by my co-host, my sister, Dallas, and my friend, Dan. And we can see in the background my wife, Taylor, and our daughter, Riley. I said Riley.
How many daughters you got?
Riley.
Ooh, you and Taylor gonna have to talk about that later.
All right, but this week we are talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League. It finally happened. You got the Snyder Cut. All of the release the Snyder Cut hashtags and petitions and stuff came to fruition, and you've got the movie. We're gonna talk about it now. I am the only one that watched the entire movie.
Okay, see, now that's something that doesn't need to be said. Just let them imagine that we all watched it. And I knew it. I was just waiting. I'm like, I know he's gonna say it. I can see his eyes.
Because so they can understand why y'all don't know what's going on.
No, because he wants to shame the rest of us for being too busy to watch this movie.
I was gonna pretend like I knew what was going on. Everything you said, I'm like, yeah, right, exactly. Yep.
Yep.
Nobody would have known.
All right, but first I'm going to give my kind of thoughts on the movie. Overall, without spoiling anything, I thought the movie it's a good movie. I think it's good. My biggest issue, I have some nitpicks in it. My biggest issue with the movie is just that it's too long. It's way too long. There definitely were scenes that could have been cut out of this movie. I have no idea.
See?
I have no idea why they opted to go with 4 hours long. There was stuff that could be cut out. I don't know why they opted to go with 4 hours. It's way too long. So that's the general idea. But I thought it was a good movie. So we can get into the stuff. First,
I'm sorry.
Dallas.
Hold on. Pause.
Oh.
Are you just gonna pretend like I didn't watch some of this movie? You just like gonna just skip over how I felt about it?
No, I was gonna say, Dallas, you saw part of the movie. What did you think?
He wasn't. Gonna
I was in the middle of saying that.
No, you were not. You was like, "So let's get into it." First of all, that's what you said. You just like skip right over me.
I was moving on to you. I promise, 100%. Dallas, what did you think about the 2 hours of the movie that you saw? And here's the thing. See, if the movie was a regular movie, Dallas would have seen most of it.
I feel like you're going out of your way to really nail it down that you're the only one who saw the whole movie. Like, out of your way, though. But okay, whatever. I digress.
Okay. I would say that my opinion is very similar as yours. Except for me, it was just okay. I think good is a stretch. I mean, I didn't hate it at all or whatever, but I do feel like it was way too long. And even though like in those first 2 hours I was thinking of like there's probably about 5 scenes that they could have done without. And they were just like 2 hours in and I'm like, we haven't even gotten to the meat of the story. It was just
Yeah.
Good God.
2 hours in. Yeah, that's true though. 2 hours in, you haven't you should be on at least the second act of the movie. Most movies are at the end of their third. And you're still doing things, and I understand why, but also either this should have been split into other movies or something like that. I'm gonna get into part of this is a good and a bad thing, because part of the reason why we hadn't got anywhere yet at the 2 hour mark is because we spent a lot of time establishing the characters in the movie, which on one end is a good thing. That was one of our big complaints about the original Justice League movie is we knew none of these characters. Wonder Woman was barely in Batman v Superman. You know Superman, you kind of know Batman, and then you got Cyborg and you got Flash and you got Aquaman all in the next movie, and we knew nothing about those characters and they're just in there. So this cut does do a good job of establishing those characters so that you know them as the movie goes on. Problem is, that takes a long time.
It takes a long time, and I think that's what happens where DC has failed by starting your universe at the big team up movie. without establishing these characters prior to that. And then at the same time, I also felt like while this movie may have established characters, it didn't really do it in a way that I cared about. Like that scene with the Flash, it was just like blah. The bank scene with Wonder Woman to me was just blah. It's just I felt like I know what the scene was, but at the same time I felt like I could have did without.
Yeah.
So it was just like if you're going to establish the characters, it could have been better.
Oh, okay.
I still feel like DC's problem is trying to keep up with Marvel instead of like just doing completely your own thing. I feel like they still try to keep up and they try to cram too much into their movies. And it just don't come out right.
I'm not sure that's what they're trying to do anymore. I feel like when Justice League came out, that's 100% what Warner Brothers was trying to do, which is why they got Joss Whedon and why, like, because, he did the Avengers, we can get him on and we can, and it was horrible.
But you can't start the Marvel Universe with the Avengers.
Yeah.
How do you start the DC Universe with Justice League?
Yeah,
Didn't they start? Wait, no.
You
They
can.
started-
I guess it started with Batman v Superman, but that movie was trash.
You can. No, it started with Man of Steel.
Yeah, Man of Steel. Yeah. Okay.
But you can establish characters in a single movie. Like, I'm not going to say you need 6 individual movies before you have Justice League, but I do think they needed more of a build-up. But I think part of it, and we're not focusing on this, but part of it is that Superman died. It's like that. It was way too early for that second movie, and he's dead. But going into this, what I said to myself is I have to accept the events of Batman v Superman. So I'm not going to go in bringing this movie down because of what happened in Batman v Superman. Like, I'm just going to have to accept the events of Batman v Superman and go from there. And maybe that's part of the reason why I thought it was good as a versus to just okay, as Dallas was saying. And I think if you view it from that point, it works. I think it explains a lot of things better. While I know for Justice League, we had a complaint that, why is Batman putting the Justice League together and stuff? And it's still kind of that because it's not Batman, but at least it makes way more sense. Batman realizes he made a mistake in Batman v Superman. He even says it in one of his lines, I made a mistake. I caused this problem because I'm the reason Superman's dead here. And when we're facing bigger problems, we're going to need a group of people to take care of this because we don't have Superman anymore. And I think that made way more sense than whatever was thrown at us in the original Justice League. A pile of poo. That's what was thrown at us.
I mean, I still take issues with Batman putting this team together, and then he goes to like this little fishing town. Is like, I'm looking for a man who lives in the sea. Like, what is this? Like, what happened to my incognito Batman?
That was cheesy.
I just don't get it. And like, if you're looking for an Aquaman, you're just gonna in the middle of this random shed. I guess was that a restaurant or a bar? I don't know what it was, but it was.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I'm guessing it was a bar because he was drinking.
Yeah, I think it was a bar.
Whiskey.
Yeah, it was just so weird. And then what was up with Aquaman, like saving this guy's life and then just throw him on the like? Okay, well now he's dead. Like that was just I don't know. It was just too much weird stuff going on.
Yeah. That scene I don't think needed to be in there. See, that's part of when we were talking about a lot of scenes that could be cut. This could have been cut down to a 2.5 to 3 hour movie. I think it definitely could have been cut down to that and kept all the substance that it had. I think you still could have. It was the thing when Aquaman left the fishing village and there's like a 4-minute scene of them singing and some
in that crazy girl sniffing his shirt.
Yeah, she was sniffing his shirt. I'm like, what is this scene?
Yeah, that was insane. That was insane.
Dan, be quiet. Yeah, that was insane. But yeah, like that scene could have been cut. Like you mentioned, Aquaman saving the guy, which I guess you're establishing like, hey, he's a good person. But I think we established that already with him providing the fishing village with food. We know he's a good person. We didn't need that scene with him saving the guy. Cut that out. That was
it was so pointless because then it's like he saved the guy but didn't really want to because he was so rude about it.
Yeah.
And he just go, oh, can we talk about a nitpick I have about Aquaman?
Well, we could talk about it in nitpicks, but I guess if you want to go on.
We'll wait then.
Yeah. One of the things that I think made more sense since we're on Aquaman was the scene where he met with Mira. And they talked because in the original Justice League, I don't remember, did they have the fight with Steppenwolf before he talked to Mira?
No, it was.
Wait, he fought him underwater, right? Because he took that box.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was underwater. I don't remember the order it was in. No.
I feel like that was done better and more explained. Plus, they explained more with Aquaman. Although still, I think some of the scenes could have been cut. With William Dafoe, we probably could have cut it because it felt like exposition when I was watching it. It was definitely
that we didn't need because you know what? Seeing that scene, and I was thinking like, did Aquaman come before or after this movie?
After they were setting up, basically, it was setting up Aquaman, which is why it felt out of place. I think
but
because
it was
just
a good setup.
Yeah.
Okay, see that confused me, and I was like, didn't we already have this? But we didn't. But
Yeah.
it was also unnecessary.
Yeah.
It
that
was
wasn't
not important to the
necessary.
story.
Yeah, and I think that's where like Dallas was saying where you can see like, hey, you needed other movies before this because while it's nice to establish some of these characters, we're getting stuff like Cyborg discovering his flight and the powers he can do, and I really like those scenes. I think it's pretty cool. I thought it looked great, but in the narrative of a Justice League movie, doesn't it take away from it? You know?
Yeah.
Because that's like a solo origin film type of thing that we have in the middle of this Justice League movie.
Yeah, and it's weird because they jump between character and character, and you're like getting this establishment for this character. Now we're talking about Batman. Then you jump between these people, and each time you're like developing this character. It's kind of weird, and I couldn't remember. Did Cyborg? Is that how he turns into Cyborg? I felt.
What, the Mother Box? I don't know if that. I think that is in the comics. Yeah, I think it was a Mother Box that turned him into Cyborg.
Okay, I was just like, is this how it really happened? But maybe I couldn't just remember.
Yeah,
straight.
but that was in the original one, wasn't it?
I don't know. I thought he blew up. Am I like thinking of something completely different?
Wait, who blew up?
Cyborg? I don't know how he got injured.
I don't think.
Yeah, I'm saying like I thought he got caught in some sort of bomb, and that's how he got injured. Like the lab.
I think his dad has. I think his dad had said something about he lost his mother and he wasn't about to lose his son too, so he had like put them back together basically.
Yeah.
But I was thinking like how he got injured in the first place. I'm just in my head. I remember it being like an explosion at the lab, but that could be like a completely different movie.
I don't know. I mean, they can change how he got injured. I don't think that's a big deal at all.
No, it's not.
Well, I think this is why we got a 4-hour movie because of all these origins that they had to fit in here.
Well, yeah, basically, I'm kind of torn there because I do like them establishing the characters, but I don't know, was there a way to do it without like all the origin filmy type stuff? And I don't know if you could have done it, which makes this a 4-hour film, which makes it too long. Because even though there were parts that I enjoyed, by the time I got to hour 2, I felt fatigue on the movie. And I'm just like, oh, okay. And just like Dallas mentioned, I was realizing like, hey, we really haven't really gotten to the meat of this, right?
Still in the crust.
But it makes me wonder, could we have established a character without, like, okay, let's say The Flash, right? Mm-hmm. We first meet him, he's applying for a job at the dog, whatever place. Yeah. And then he saves the girl, which by the way, while he was filling that girl's face.
I was going to say that. I'm like, is he speed stalking people? Because, like, he moves super fast, so she's stuck in the air, and he's, like, brushing her hair to the side and stuff and filling her face. I'm like, yo, wait, dude.
Oh, wow.
I feel like...
You can get away with it, because you can't prove that.
Yeah, she doesn't even know it happened. I think that's worse. That's worse.
It's like drugging her.
So,
but, yeah.
On, dude.
We had that scene, and then we had the scene with him talking to his father in jail. And I'm like, did we need both of them?
Yeah, just maybe one. Yeah, because I feel like his father in jail stuff is more of something for his solo film because that's
Yeah,
more
it
of a
doesn't help
personal
the
thing
movie.
with the character. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
While I think his application establishes who he is, he establishes his nature, him as a quirky, weird, like, you know, socially awkward type of person, you know, and it establishes his power set. Like, that would be a good introductory scene. Like, I guess like what in Civil War when they introduced Spider-Man, right? You didn't get a long origin film type of introduction. He just talks to Tony Stark, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right,
and
because
then, like,
he had already been doing what he was doing. Tony Stark had been keeping track of him, but it's like, you know, we don't have to go back through all that. Fast forward us to the point where, you know, Tony meets him, and from there show what he's gonna do in the movie in Civil War.
Yeah.
and
We
then
don't need anything before all that.
they showed his powers like on a computer screen. Like, is this you? And it could have been something very similar to that. Like, well, they already had it when they saw him in the convenience store on the camera.
Okay, but that's not good.
No,
Right here.
no, I'm not saying that's good, but I'm saying that if that was done differently.
Yeah, well, I think the scene with I think that girl was supposed to be Iris West. It's unconfirmed.
That's what I'm getting as he stalked her.
Yeah, but I think that scene with him saving her would have been a good establishing thing. And I would have cut the stuff with his father. I guess it's supposed to make him more relatable and personable, but all of that plus the exposition of his mother dying, like that type of stuff goes into his own movie. So I think they could have left it at establishing him with the application and saving Iris. And I think it would have been a good understanding of the character right there.
I would say so.
I would agree.
Yeah. So I think that's part of it. That's part of what I was talking about before. Because like a lot of this is good, but part of it feels like they belong in different movies rather than being a 4-hour long movie. Because gosh, that is half a workday. Like,
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. How long is Titanic?
too long.
Yep. What he said. And I think what is it 3.5?
3.5 or something. I mean,
Yeah.
I said it. I know part of you guys disagree with me, but even Endgame, while I love the movie, sometimes when I'm like, I want to watch this, and then I look at the runtime and I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I want to devote 3 hours. Like,
See, with Endgame, it don't bother me though, because I don't realize that it's 3 hours. It's just like after the 3 hours is over, it's like, okay, it's legit was 3 hours. But
Right.
you know, that doesn't bother me. But for a 4-hour movie, that's just not holding me in.
yeah, but even if Endgame was 4 hours, I feel like you would feel it. I don't think any movie can be 4 hours and you don't feel that time.
I
If
think
Endgame was 4
because-
hours, I probably would feel that. 3 hours probably the limit, but
Right.
yeah.
But I think the difference is that like watching Endgame the entire time, I never got tired of it. So you know, it's
Right.
3 hours long, but it was still I enjoyed every second of it. So like Dan said, you know, at the end it's like, wow, you know, I just spent 3 hours watching this movie. It's like once I decide to watch Endgame, it no longer occurs to me that I've been sitting here for 3 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
So we got that. We talked about Flash, we talked about Aquaman. Cyborg, I actually like his story, and you can see what got cut out from the original Justice League, because apparently they cut like all of Cyborg's stuff in the original one, which is kind of messed up.
I think they felt like he was like the least popular, so they was like, yeah, like the one that everybody
Yeah, but-
cared the least about.
He was more interesting though.
But that's how you
I
get
think so.
to like a character, right? You take someone you don't really know, you make them cool. Now I want to know more about Cyborg or
Yeah.
whatever. But
Yeah. I definitely think he had a more interesting story. It's pretty cool. Some of it, like I said earlier, I think belongs in like a Cyborg origin movie or in a separate movie than the big team up one. But you understood him more, definitely. He was barely in the other one. It was weird.
it was weird and very noticeable.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely understood him
True
more.
that.
He had way more to do with like the plot and actually solving the issue at hand, which I thought was pretty good.
How do you feel about his costume design?
Cyborg? I don't know, it's fine. I think
Most of it's CGI, ain't it?
I think it's a mistake to go with like chrome shiny CGI because it's hard to make it look extremely realistic because they're like that type of texture. So while I think it's a great CGI, sometimes you can really like I can really tell what's going on there with the CGI, and I think it's just like because he's so metallic and it's reflections everywhere. It's really hard to do
Yeah, I'm
that.
about to say, because if it's chromy, it's got to reflect what's around them. If you're not like, what was that? If you're not really like reflecting what's around them, then it's like you can tell, like, okay, this is fake. Like if you're standing next to like a brick wall and he's chromy and he's not reflecting this brick wall, it's like, okay, yeah, that looks mad fake. So like if he was just a dull, regular metal, I'm not expecting no reflection. You can make that look a whole lot more real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they did a good job with it. It's just a difficult one. I like his design. You don't like his design, Dallas?
No, I just feel like it could be better. I don't like DC's costume designs at all. I don't lie.
Well, he's a cyborg, so he's supposed to look like he used to be a human, but he's getting put back together like RoboCop, right?
Yeah, I don't know how else you're gonna
But
design
RoboCop
him.
look better though. Y'all don't think RoboCop look better?
I guess.
I mean,
Yeah.
RoboCop looked more like just all robot. You know what I'm saying? Like he got a human head, but like the rest of him is just robot. Cyborg, I feel like he's got a lot more human parts to him.
Does he?
You know,
All you
that's
have
what
is like the right side of his face.
Yeah, it's pretty much just the right side of his face.
Really, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought that was supposed to be the thing. Like he was his father saved like
Yeah, most
most
of
of them, but
it's covered in the metal or whatever. So the only thing you can see is the right side of his face.
Wait a minute, hold on. So if his father basically turned him into a computer, you couldn't just do that with his brain? Like, okay, he got into this car accident. His whole body's still there. Hey, why did you have to replace 99% of him?
I don't know what he looked like after this explosion or car accident or whatever happened.
It was just his, it was like no, he was missing an arm
One arm. So
and
he
his
still got
legs.
an arm
Like,
and two-
look,
He had his whole torso.
I don't know. He had to look like Cyborg, okay?
I imagine he had to look pretty bad after the accident to the point he's like, man, I got to
didn't
replace
look
you
that
with some
bad.
metal.
No, he was going to die.
That was it.
Yeah.
I'm saying you couldn't save this dude's body though.
Well, he didn't know what the mother box was going to do.
Hmm.
He just figured it could save him. And it did.
Yeah, he's still here, so
Yeah.
you know.
You don't like the costume design? Okay, I'll go through it. I think Cyborg looks fine. I don't know what Dallas is talking about. Wonder Woman looks fine. Superman looks fine. Flash,
Looks stupid.
no, it's just
I
the
feel
way
like
he
Flash is a
runs.
bit much. I feel like they could have like modernized it a little bit. I feel like it's got too many
Yeah.
sharp edges and like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know
Way too many-
because
like, why is there so many edges on his outfit?
the
Yeah,
one
it's
on
like
this,
a lot of edges.
I don't know. I don't know.
He's not childproof.
Let's slip a knife right in there.
Too many sharp corners.
So the Flash is probably not so good, and I don't like this Batman design. I know some people do. I don't like this one. I don't.
What don't you like about Batman though?
I think the cowl looks weird. Like it looks pretty. Like it's fat. Like it looks really thick.
I think
and-
Ben Affleck got a big head.
Yeah, and the color's weird.
Could be.
In the wrong light, the color looks really weird. Like it only works in like extreme dark, which I get is Batman, but like if it's in a movie, give him a different costume when it's in the day or something like that, you know, so that it looks better because this is a movie, right? It doesn't have to be the same color all around.
It's like, Batman, what are you doing out here in the daytime, dude? Like, go home. Wait till the
So-
moon comes up.
Yeah, I don't like this Batman costume.
I guess the Batman costume could be a little bit better. I mean, you know, from what we used to, with like the the older Batman movies. But like, did you not like it when it was Christian Bale? Did you not like that one either, or is it just the Ben Affleck one?
No, the Kristen Bell one was fine. I like that
Okay.
one. Yeah. It's just this one.
I like. I mean, I think Superman's cool. I like that they didn't put the tighty reds on him. Like, I'm happy they didn't do that because like that used to be like old superheroes. Everybody had like tighty whatever color. Like Batman used to have them
Their
tighty
underwear
blacks.
on the outside.
Yeah, Superman had the tighty reds.
Interesting
and then,
fact.
so on and so on.
About that because superheroes were based on the strong men at the time and they generally wore just like the not underwear, but like the shorts like that back in the day. And so
like in the WWE, like the Rock had on.
Yeah. So
I did not like that. Didn't like it at all. I'm like, y'all gotta wrestle in that.
So, but that's what it was based off of. So that's why all the superheroes have like that little design there.
No, okay, all right. Well, yeah, I'm glad they went away from that. Cause that kind of threw me off. But yeah, it's the only one I really don't like is Flash.
Yeah,
Like,
Aquaman looks
even
fine.
with Captain America's uniform, like back in the first movie, you could tell it was like really baggy on him and whatever, because it looked like it looked older. But like once it came up to the Avengers, it like slimmed out. It was sleek. Now it was kind of like seamless, if you will. But like with Flash's uniform, it's like he's got gloves, boots, elbow pads, knee pads, shoulder pads. It just looks like too many pieces. Like it's not like a one piece. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they could have made it a little bit more slimming because he's the Flash. Like he's supposed to like look like Speed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He does not look like Speed.
One thing I have to say, and I was hoping this changed for this movie, and it didn't. The way Flash runs, what is that? What is it?
Wild, sporadic.
What is who runs like this? Like what is this? I don't understand.
It's like, is that the way he would have ran if he wasn't fast too? Or does he have to run that way to be fast? I don't get it.
I don't. Yeah, and they always slow it down so that you can see him doing this.
Yeah, so you can really see how ridiculous he looks. Yeah, like his arms cross over his body, and his legs cross. Like it looks bad. It does.
Since you mentioned slow down, can we talk about the unnecessary use of slow motion?
Yeah, that was gonna be in my nitpicks, but yeah, let's talk about it now. There was way too much slow motion in this movie.
Like every action scene.
It's like somebody would be turning around. It don't even be an action scene. Somebody be turning around in their chair.
And like a slow blink. They blink slow. That's another reason why the movie's 4 hours long. Too much
What's going on? Yeah, the slow motion could have been cut down. Also, I don't like what they did with Wonder Woman. Apparently, every time she was on the screen, we had to have some kind of woman opera singing going on. I don't know.
But we had a lot of screaming type music in this movie, which I was not a fan of.
Screaming?
It's hard.
You mean like
Yeah, that type of thing. Yeah.
Something like that. A lot.
Okay.
An awful lot.
And like it was in the bank scene, like when she was saving the bank, and it just did. I'm like, what is? And then it was like the entire Steppenwolf attacks Themyscira thing. It was just there throughout that entire thing, and I'm like, I can't. What is this?
Also, like when the movie opened, like that noise that they were playing, just
with Superman dying. Well, I didn't touch on that. Maybe we should touch on that. Okay, so the premise.
Yeah, that's not how they started the original.
No.
I actually liked that one a little bit better.
The premise here, which I mean, I like the shots. Like Zack Snyder's really good at good shots. He takes some good shots. So I like the shots of Superman and Doomsday. I'm gonna put that in quotes. That fight and them dying and stuff and what happened. The problem is the premise behind this is that Superman dying awoken the mother boxes saying that, hey, we can attack this planet now, right? Mm-hmm. Why Superman's only been on Earth for what, 30 years, 35 maybe? So, and we're not going to count when he was a kid, right? So when was he a threat? For the last 15 years, maybe? And the mother boxes have been on Earth for thousands. What happened in between? I don't understand why it's like, oh, Superman's dead now, we could come. Like, well, he wasn't around for the longest. Like,
well, you know how it is, man. You think you're gonna do something, and you keep putting it off. Like, I'll do it tomorrow. 15 years go by, you're like, oh, Now I can't do it because Superman's there. You know how it is.
Yeah, I just that is a nitpick of mine. I'm like, but yeah, that opening scene, with the scream, I got tired of hearing his scream of dying after a while because it played for like, I don't know, 10 minutes, and I'm like, okay,
it was long. It was awful.
We get it.
It wasn't
dead.
that long.
They could have done it quicker.
I mean, it's Superman. You have to be dramatic with that.
Yeah, of course.
Can't just knock him off and move on.
Or they could have just not killed him in the previous movie because.
Well, remember when you said we got to look at it from,
Yes. Yeah, I know.
So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that that was weird. But I will have to say a lot more of this movie makes more sense. Steppenwolf's motivation makes sense. He wasn't going on and on about Mother like he was in the first movie.
Oh yeah, that was irritating.
I was like, what is he talking about? He was actually working for Darkseid, trying to get the planet, and apparently the anti-life equation, which is something from the comics. I feel like people that don't read the comics are going to be like, what? On it. But yeah, the anti-life equation is on Earth, so Darkseid wants to come get the mother boxes, destroy Earth, get the anti-life equation to do his dirty deeds, and it makes more sense. Stephen was working for Darkseid. It just completely makes way more sense with this, other than I don't know whatever mess was in the original.
He just wanted to please his mother.
Yeah, it was a lot of weirdness.
A lot.
Did they change the look of the parademons in this?
Did they?
I feel like, hey, you know what scene wasn't in it?
What?
Batman scaring that guy to lure one of the parademons over. That whole scene in the beginning. Remember, that was like the beginning of Justice League, the original one. That wasn't in it. And I'm happy because it was stupid.
Well, they said they smell fear, so I get that part.
Yeah, it was real dumb. Yeah, them resurrecting Superman.
Was that in it?
Yeah, it was less dumb.
Okay.
Less dumb, but not quite not dumb.
Did they do it the same way?
Yeah, that was the same. That apparently was taken from Zack Snyder's stuff that Joss Whedon just gave him a real dumb reason. Okay. I mean, it worked. The fight scene was similar. Except for Lois was already in the area, and it wasn't Batman had planned to bring Lois to calm Superman down, which I think makes more sense.
Yeah, because it's like, what did you do? Just have her on standby? Like, oh, wait, when I call you, just in case. Like, because obviously he didn't. Did he tell her that? Oh, we're about to bring Superman back to life.
Yeah, so no. I do have another kind of nitpick with this movie before I move on towards the end of it. Martian Manhunter is in this. He had two scenes. One scene where he pretended to be Martha Kent talking to Lois to kind of get her out of her slump, and one scene at the end when he talked to Batman. One thing, Martian Manhunter is kind of like almost as strong as Wonder Woman and Superman. So I'm gonna put this here. The world was about to end. Where were you? Like, you just decided not to fight with them. He's like, I'm gonna see how this plays out. Just gonna chill and see what goes on. Like, I'm like, dude.
Like, yeah, they got it. They got it.
I thought was weird was like when they were showing like the history of the mother box, and it's like, oh hey, Green Lantern is in this, and I'm like, man, it'd have been great if he was in this movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was weird, like hey, Green Lantern exists, but we're not gonna use them though.
Well, because you would definitely need to have a Green Lantern establishing movie. Like, you can't just throw Green Lantern. That's one superhero I'm going to say you can't just throw him in a movie and say, hey, he's Green Lantern. You need to establish that.
Especially not the Ryan Reynolds version. Don't do that. Don't throw him in this movie.
I know. So that's why he wasn't. I guess there just isn't a Lantern on Earth. But again, the Lantern Corps right? Y'all supposed to watch out for stuff like this. Isn't somebody defending this area of space?
Everybody's off duty or at lunch, something.
But anyway, that's another reason why the mother box woke up, because they said there's no lantern, right? I like how they said no Kryptonian, like there's just Kryptonians everywhere, right? Like
There are no Kryptonians.
it's like it's just Superman. No Kryptonian. Like what? They're not even strong on their own planet. Not like.
That is true. They're just regular.
So yeah,
what is it? The sun that makes sense.
Our sun, yeah,
Our sun,
So yeah, that's okay. But yeah, I'm like Martian. Like, what? You decided just not to fight with them, even though the planet literally was about to end. Like just destruction for the entire planet. I'm gonna sit this one out. I'm.
He didn't take it seriously. You're like,
And then you come at the end of the movie to Bruce Wayne. Hey, man, I want to join the Justice League. No, what? Where were you before?
It's like, nah, dude, nah. We need people that's gonna show up to work. Okay.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna let you go.
That was a little messed up. So that's a nitpick about Martian Manhunter. The end of the movie with them fighting Steppenwolf was a lot better. They didn't have the stupid family to save. That wasn't in there.
Oh, in a truck.
Yeah.
He had to push out of town.
You got to see them, fighting together as a team. I think those scenes work pretty well. I don't know. In the fight scenes in this movie, I personally didn't feel the stakes. I don't know if it's because I was fatigued from the first 2 hours of the movie. That might have been it. But I still think they worked well. I still feel like Superman was, and I said this before, a Deus Ex Machina here. It's like Superman's here. They're fighting Steppenwolf. They're having a hard time. They're getting Cyborg to kind of separate the mother boxes and stuff. And they're fighting well against Steppenwolf, but like they're still having a difficult time with him. And then Superman comes in and he literally says this, "I'm not impressed." And just like beats the ever living daylight out of Steppenwolf. And I was just like, it's just, okay, well, there was no threat there. All right.
It was kind of the same in the first movie though, right? Because like he
Yeah.
showed up and just had his way with him, basically.
Yeah. It was a bit more violent in this. And by the end, I was like, man, this feels too violent for Superman. But yeah, I mean, he came in and won. It was the same with the first one. I think it was done better, but it was still kind of like, up Superman comes. If he was here in the first place, we would have just not had any problems at all.
Why he wasn't there in the beginning?
Well, he was dead, so.
Well, come on now.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, that's why they do the whole thing, because it's like otherwise, this isn't a movie. Why not like Darkseid?
Well, no. Why not just up Steppenwolf's power level? Like I felt like can't Steppenwolf stand a little bit to Superman in the comics? Like there are a lot of characters that can stand up to Superman.
True.
I don't know anything about Steppenwolf to say like what he can and cannot do. I mean, he seemed like he should be really powerful.
Yeah, but
he was molly-whopping everybody else, including Wonder Woman. So.
Yeah, including Wonder Woman. Yeah,
Well,
because the fight scene that was a good fight scene. Like under in the sewers and stuff, and Wonder Woman went 1-on-1 with Steppenwolf. Like he was handing it to her. Like she was doing well, but he was handing it to her, man. Like.
Like, dude, she's a woman.
Yeah, I feel like you just up his power level. Just make it's a movie. So like even if it's not in the comics, make it where at least Superman has some struggle at some point during the fight with him. I feel like that works better than it's just like, Superman just comes in like, no, this ain't no problem. Because that becomes the issue with Superman. And a lot of people say this is like why it's hard to make Superman movies. He's got to fight other Kryptonians or something, because what do you make a movie about?
Right.
Because otherwise, it can't be no one on Earth because he's too strong for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless they got kryptonite or Bizarro or something.
Yeah, they should have done a Bizarro. That might have been an interesting movie.
I think so.
Yeah. Or the
Like
Toy Man.
Oh no.
Remember that from the cartoon, man?
Yes.
He was getting beat up by the Toy Man. Or you got Parasite too. He's interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Brainiac.
Brainiac. Yeah, we always do Brainiac. Sleep.
We always do Brainiac. Didn't they do it like once in 1970 or whatever? That don't count.
All right, fine. Yeah, Brainiac. But this, I would say, this rendition of it does make me wish that like they had another chance at this actual universe, because I don't know what they're doing now, because we got Robert Pattinson, Batman. Henry Cavill's not Superman anymore. Wonder Woman 84 was trash. I don't know what's gonna do, but I feel like they could have salvaged this. And this movie shows that they could have, because this was a decent movie.
Does this movie need to be better than decent?
I feel like the story would still be interesting.
Okay,
I
you see this in the movie theaters, big blockbuster opening. Do you walk out of there disappointed? Or do you walk out of like, Man of Steel was like, okay, that was okay. But don't you want something more out of your Justice League movie?
Yeah. Well, I know, but like I was saying that you had a route to go from Justice League. If we didn't get 2017 Justice League, we might have been able to pick up. Yes, Justice League is too soon, even if we got this Justice League in the theaters, cut down, hopefully, because 4 hours is way too long. But even if we got this in 2017, people would have been happier with it, no doubt. But I feel like we would have had a better route to go off of. But because we got Joss Whedon's Justice League, Warner Brothers just threw a bunch of stuff up in the air. We got a Joker that's not attached. We got a bunch of bad DC movies, some good ones in there. Dallas would disagree, but Aquaman, people like Shazam, Wonder Woman was good. You had those movies in there, and we had a route to go. But after Justice League came out, and I feel like it's all messed up now, because what do you do? Like, where are they going? Is Robert Pattinson its own trilogy with nothing else in it, or are they starting a new universe with it? I don't know what's going on.
They don't know what's going on. That's why we don't know, because they don't know.
True. Everybody's confused on both ends.
All right. But I guess I think we mentioned all the nitpicks, to be honest.
I got one.
All right. What's your nitpick?
Okay. So Aquaman needs to take his shirt off to swim in the ocean, but he still swims in jeans?
No, he just wanted to take his shirt off so everybody can see his muscles.
It makes no sense. He did it like 8 times.
Well, is Jason Momoa.
How you ever fit in soaking wet jeans? It slows you down.
You can drown, actually, if you have.
Hey, you can't complain about this. You can't complain about this when Marvel has all this obligatory man with shirt off scene in all their movies, and that's all this is. That's all it is.
I'm not complaining about the man with shirt off. That's fine. I get why they're doing it. I'm just saying he took off this little skimpy tank top and then hopped into the ocean with jeans on. Like, I don't understand.
I feel like he went with he chose the wrong article of clothing to take off if he needed for the inconvenience.
He got some Speedos on underneath them jeans. So, like, I don't know why he just...
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I can't explain that to you.
All right. I'm sorry that was... That's a nitpick of yours. I was gonna say, like, in that one fight scene with Superman, right after he came back and they fought him in the plaza, I'm like, man, what is Henry Cavill eating? Because, like, he's just huge. What is with all these guys being extremely large?
They're getting something. I mean, they got money. They can eat whatever they want. All the healthiest, goodest stuff.
Oh,
some people just can't afford that much food.
It was like, you could see it because it was his back, and it was just like he's shaped like this. Like, I'm like, what?
Man, eating good, got the best trainers.
Yeah, I'm not fighting any of these people.
So I wouldn't fight Wonder Woman.
Oh, no.
Like, nope, I'm not gonna embarrass myself.
Yeah, so I guess that was all our nitpicks because we mentioned the rest of them. The slow motion, the Wonder woman screaming in the background. Soundtrack. Her own soundtrack is better. So yeah, I guess we rank the movie, which I don't know how we rank it. I know y'all gonna be mad, but I'm sorry, Dallas, you can't rank a movie that you haven't watched all the way through.
Well, I'm gonna rank it.
It was gonna be do while folding clothes.
Okay, I'm gonna put it. It was borderline between watch while folding clothes and I'd pay for that, but I wouldn't pay for a 4-hour movie, so I'm sorry. So it's watch while folding clothes.
I'm gonna put it at after I watch it. I'll rate it.
All right, yeah. After he watches, you rate it. So tentatively, our rating for this is watch while folding clothes. Which, for all the DC fans out there, please don't be mad. That is one of our good ratings. Actually, most movies we watch gets that. DC. I said
Yeah,
DC.
but you said feces. The way you messed it up, you actually ended up saying feces.
DC fans.
You said DC feces fans. It's all right. It's all right.
Watch while folding clothes is our average rating, which we give to most movies. But if you want a numerical ranking, I would give it probably like a 6.5, 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a 7.
Yeah. It's a good 7. So there you go. And that's our thoughts on Zack Snyder's Justice League. Let us know in the comments below. Send all your angry comments to us. We definitely want them. Plus it helps with the YouTube algorithm, so that's great. So make sure you let us know what you thought about the movie down below, and you can check us out on Facebook as well. We are facebook.com/3drivals. You can email us 3drivals@gmail.com, and also is there somewhere else they can reach us? I don't even know. Twitter?
Do you not?
We're at 3_rivals on Twitter.
And you mentioned Facebook, right?
Yes. And wherever you get your podcasts, if you want to listen to us in podcast form. So make sure you do that. Other than that, thank you so much, guys, for watching/listening. Peace out.